face to base, obviously it affects the education of their children. Can you talk to that and explain what you mean by that?
So we passed that bill this past session, and what it
Yeah.
does is it allows our National Guard and our reserve members who do have to move for their opportunities within the National Guard and the Reserve, their children get the same access to early enrollment, early enrollment in AP classes, tryouts for sports teams as their active duty counterparts. People often forget that even though you're only serving one weekend a month or 2 weeks a summer, that you have to move for promotion opportunities within the National Guard and Reserve. And those moves are difficult on children. So we wanted to make it a little bit easier for those National Guard and Reserve children to have the same opportunities that their active duty counterparts get. Because you don't know when you move. Is the AP class, AP chemistry, is it going to be full by the time you get there? So now if they're moving for their parents' military assignment, they can have that access to early enrollment. That's huge for some of these National Guard and Reserve soldiers. So we just want to recognize that their contribution is as important as active duty. We know that over the last 20 years, we've relied heavily on the National Guard and on the reserves. We just had one of our units come back. The Pennsylvania National Guard unit just came back from Djibouti after a year. So we need to make sure that we take care of those children as well. It's not just always about the service member. It's always about taking care of those families that sacrifice as well. They're kind of the unsung heroes of the military because they are the ones that stay home and keep everything moving in the right direction while their loved one is deployed.
And you also had, sponsored the task force on women veterans health care,
Yes.
legislation. Can you talk a little bit about that? It's not something that people might think about as much. Why was that important to you personally, and what is going on with that?
So I received my health care through the Philadelphia VA, and I will never forget the day that I went in to just schedule a routine mammogram. And the woman behind the desk was like, "Oh, are you here with your husband?" "Nope, I'm the veteran." And she looked at me and she said, "You look like you're wealthy enough to get it on the outside." And I don't know what it
Wow.
was, but it just triggered something inside me that, like, wait a minute, I've earned the right to be here for my health care.
Yeah.
And if this is what I'm encountering, and I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, what about that young soldier that doesn't know how to work the system and doesn't know that she's entitled to fight back and say, no, 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 I am entitled to be here and I want my benefits to be here. So we know in Pennsylvania that we have a tremendous amount of women, almost 100,000 female veterans, and those women don't have the access, especially in rural Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
So we asked for a study. They have just completed the study. I've been lucky enough to see the results of the study, and it is exactly what we thought it would be: underserved. Women in Pennsylvania, women veterans in Pennsylvania are underserved with the federal VA healthcare system, and we need to do better by those women that are in rural Pennsylvania, or those women that are too far from a health clinic, whether it be a CPOC or whether it be an actual VA hospital. And we know we need to do better, but we need to ask the federal government for more funding for our female veterans here in Pennsylvania. Because we have been at war for 20 years, some of these women come back and they're of childbearing age. They want to have children. They
Mhm.
may have infertility issues. They may have other issues that they need to have help with.
Mhm.
Women often have PTSD from their combat experiences, just like their male counterparts. Women face PTSD a little bit differently than men, and we need to have that specialized care. And we can't go any further without talking about military sexual trauma. That's also plays
Mhm.
into it. So we want to be able to go to the federal government and say, look, we need more health care resources for women in Pennsylvania because it's the right thing to do, and these women have earned that right.
Yeah, and another thing, I remember fishing with my grandpa, who was a military. He was U.S. Marine, and he had been injured by shrapnel, and he loved to fish. He would take, some of my brother and I would take us kids fishing. It was relaxing for him. I never thought about this until I think you had told me about it. That that's something that recreationally is great. Something like that's great therapy, and you were able to translate that into some legislation.
Absolutely. So there's a great organization called Camp Freedom up in the Poconos, and they take veterans from all different conflicts, and they take them out hunting and shooting and archery and fishing, and regardless of their ability or their disability, they can get them out there, even get them up into tree stands if they're in a wheelchair. I mean, it's just amazing
It's
what they
wonderful.
do. But the healing of going out with veterans and just having the quiet to maybe reflect and maybe talk about, your time in the service and where, what brought you to this point is very, very healing. And just having someone there who has walked the walk is very, very important. And even if you just know that there's someone you can call or send a little note to or a text to that understands, I'm having a bad day. And I think that's so important, which is why we've worked on legislation that makes those hunts through these organizations like Camp Freedom. They don't have to get a hunting license. They don't have to get a fishing license. That those groups can go out and do their good work without having the requirements to meet, getting a fishing license for a one-day event, as an example. But I think it's so important that veterans continue to reach out to one another, because there's nothing better than having a veteran who understands combat by your side when you're having a bad day or when you're, feeling really, really alone in the world. There are people out there that can relate and can understand where you're at.
Well, thank you so much for your service as we continue to commemorate this Veterans Day. State Senator Tracy Pennicook from Pennsylvania's 24th District, thanks for joining me once again. Until next time, my friend, thank you.
Thanks, Don. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. I'll be updating you as well on another veteran as our U.S. Senator-elect, Dave McCormick. Remember, he was part of that first wave of troops sent into Iraq during the Gulf War. This was 1991, executive officer of a combat engineering company of 130 soldiers who were tasked with clearing those minefields and then destroying enemy munitions. And so that was part of McCormick's service to our nation. So I want to celebrate him on this important Veterans Day. And by the way, his political opponent continuing to refuse to concede. It's incredible with McCormick closing in on, I'm looking at the laws. I'm looking at what they're counting. I think he's at 39,000. He's ahead at least 39,000 ballots that I know of. But a longtime career politician, the incumbent Democrat, Bob Casey Jr., he is still fighting this, and this is quite an uphill battle. But if you look at the law says as to when that recount would be triggered, right? 0.5%. Now, McCormick is up nearly 6% by all accounts, or right at 6% about. And so I don't see how, even the AP, even the Inquirer, everybody's called this race. And still, Bob Casey, did you know that he is fundraising off of this? The Casey camp, they're fundraising, saying, help Casey count, and we still need to count. But this is an uphill battle. It's stubborn. And why doesn't anybody say, oh, this is a danger to democracy? I'm not saying that. Look, I understand. It's tough in these close races. And even we played McCormick saying that as much in his victory speech in his news conference that happened Friday, that he was extremely gracious and said he knows what it's like to be in one of these really tight elections. And he talked about the Casey family. He was just so gracious and classy. But it's Dave and Dina. So the Caseys need to get over it and get over yourselves and move it. But they're saying, oh, no, no. And so now you even have that they're saying, well, we need until at least, the overseas ballots with the military ballots. They're not arriving until tomorrow, November 12th. This could be Wednesday. And then nationally, you have Senator Chuck Schumer, which is really crummy. And he's saying, oh, no, we can't do anything. We have to freeze everything. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But it just shows you how the media covers this. Look at how the media covers this one so differently than anybody else. God forbid any Republican, those evil MAGA Republicans, if they were refusing to concede, it would be a whole different storyline. The national media, everybody would bully the candidate. But on this one, they're saying, well, we need to count every last ballot, and that's what we need to do. And it seems like Al Schmidt has gone along with that as well. I just disagree. I'm saying I think they need to concede. It's over. It's done. It's a done deal. So there it is. It's going to be Senator McCormick. Congratulations. So Casey needs to come out, give it up, and thank. By the way, Casey in that concession speech, which should be today, should honor our Senator-elect Dave McCormick for his service as a military veteran, combat war service to our nation, and be done with it. But no, they're going to drag this on for, it looks like at least through Wednesday, if not Friday. It's ridiculous. That's my take. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. I don't know if you heard about this, but there's a Mattel Barbie controversy. Oh, my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my goodness. If you heard about this, Dan?
No.
So when I was a little girl, I actually played with my Barbies till I was like 13 because I was like a very young, I don't know, I was young.
It's a little late to be keep playing
It
with
is,
Barbies.
but I loved my Barbies. I still have some of them packed away, probably some of them very valuable. But the latest ones, because they made all these Barbies to honor, Wicked, the Broadway production.
Yeah.
But they accidentally put the wrong website to honor
Uh-oh.
yeah.
And is it like
It's
a
a-
whitehouse.com kind of thing?
No, it's like a porno site.
Yeah, like whitehouse.com.
Oh, is that what? I don't even know. Sorry.
It goes to the magazine.
I'm
not the
showing
web-
my.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't even. Not that you know what that is.
No, never.
Dan
No.
doesn't know.
No, no.
Mrs. Borowski.
Not something I
guess,
accidentally stumbled upon in 7th
Yeah.
grade or anything.
Yeah, it's a what? But yeah, it's unfortunate. But so there are big apologies coming for that. A lot to talk about today as we continue to honor, of course, our veterans. And as well, I know the Piazza family honoring our veterans as well. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, featuring the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands like Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. These models have such sleek new designs. Oh, they're gorgeous. Innovative features powered by the very latest in technology. And Piazza has thousands of new as well as certified pre-owned vehicles they're available across the region and across their dealerships in Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit them, piazzapremiumautos.com, Piazza, piazzapremiumautos.com. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Got a roofing problem? Don't let it ruin your day.
Emmons Roofing and Siding offers professional roofing services from repairs to complete lifetime warranted replacements.
And you can trust our experienced team to keep your home safe and secure. And we can even handle insurance claims for you.
Give us a call today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on the web at callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
To inside and out.
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766. Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Honoring our veterans on this Veterans Day, 855-839-1210. Francine, you want to let us know about your great event? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, hi, Dawn.
Hey.
I attended the mock debate in Berlin several weeks ago.
Oh, that was so fun.
And I met you. Yeah, that was great. I met you there. I came up to the table and I told you about Protect the Vote. I didn't find it in New Jersey, so you may remember me from that.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about a wonderful farm market in Monroeville, New Jersey, Showbers. Every year, they give out free produce, which includes vegetables and fruits and things like that, to veterans. And my friend and I volunteered on Saturday, and it was wonderful. They said they had about 700 or so veterans who came through the line. And it's so heartwarming because you thank each veteran for their service and you give them these great big bags of fruit and vegetables, individual bags. They can pick out what they want. They get apple cider. And they do this every year. They're doing it today, as a matter of fact. They did it Saturday and today.
It's wonderful. I love hearing that.
Isn't it?
It's just,
it's great.
It's a great feeling, and we should do it, talk about it more often. But thank you. And I remember exactly what you're talking about when you said, because Protect the Vote, it was pa.protectthevote.com. So it was actually focused on Pennsylvania as a swing state. Although Dan and I were just noticing during the commercial break that New Jersey, they've only counted about 94% of the vote. And I have to wonder if it's even as the totals come in, because right now, I think Democrats overall, I think it's 2.1 million, and Republicans are nearing that 2 million mark. So I wonder if it'll even be closer. You know what I mean? That so many people are saying, hey, Jersey went purple, and this must be freaking out many operatives,
My husband and I saw at the polls where we go to vote on, Election Day, there was a marked increase with the number of people who were there. And many people that I was talking to were like pro-Trump. We were trying to keep it quiet, but, we were all talking about it. So it was great. I was so thrilled with the election. But one more thing I wanted to mention. Yes. When we were at Showbers, seeing the Vietnam veterans and hearing some of their stories about how they were spit upon and just totally demeaned when they came back was heartbreaking. And there's a book that I want to mention to you. It's talking about this and talking about how women over in Vietnam weren't recognized, weren't appreciated at all. It's called The Women. Have you heard about it?
I have, but I haven't read it yet. So I did.
If you
So
get a
thank you for
chance.
that, Francine.
Yeah, if you get a chance, it is the most wonderful book. You can't put it down. It's just terrific.
Aw, thank you, Francine. Really appreciate you. Let's get right to this is Tom in Percy. Hey, Tom.
Hey, good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
I'm going to sleep. So, Dawn, I'm a Marine Corps veteran. My father was in the Marine Corps, and both of my children were in the Navy. And as we're speaking now, I'm in Souderton, and our Souderton Legion, we're doing a retirement ceremony for American flags. It's going to be going off at 11:11 on the 11th day, on the 11th hour.
And so it's in Souderton. If anybody wants to make it there, it's beautiful, and you'll also be thanking other veterans as well for their service. Or
and if you can hear in the background, the fire trucks are coming. So we didn't start a fire yet, but there'll be a lot of smoke blowing out of here. Do you hear them?
I do, actually.
There they are. Look at that.
So they're on the way
Yeah,
to the commemoration, though.
Yes,
Souderton.
they are.
Well, Tom,
they're right around the corner from us.
I love it. And exactly where are you in Souderton? I guess anybody, if you're in the area, just follow the sirens. I guess that's the best thing I could say.
It's on Main Street in Souderton near the small Wawa. If everybody will know where that is.
Yes.
So. And they'll see the smoke.
Yes. Well, Tom, thank you for your service to our great Marine Corps. Thank you. And
you're worth it.
Aw, God bless. God bless you. And that's just it. So many. I don't know if all the school. My sons had school today. So high schools, colleges. I think a lot of the schools still are in session today. I'm not sure when that change happened because it is a federal holiday. I don't think we get mail service or anything of that nature. So I don't know when that flip happened. But I know that my sons were like, why isn't it's Veterans Day? And, there are a lot of parades. Are there not? Why a lot of schools, I will say, do a lot of in-service days for this and putting together care packages and that sort of thing. So they do a good job with that. But it used to be the Veterans Day, everybody had off Monday. But I'm not sure when that change happened.
Look, if you can give them off for all these other days, why not Veterans
I know,
Day?
right?
Yeah, come on.
It's weird.
Kind of disrespectful.
It is. Again, I will say their schools, like there are flags everywhere, and they do a lot of, and they often will have a military veteran come to the school, and they've done that for years, whether it was their grade school, the high school. So I think that's good. But yeah, I'm not quite sure when this all began, that Veterans Day, Armistice Day, that we would not, honor our heroes and thank them and have the day off and go to, because there are so many parades. Now, you as a parent, certainly you can probably write a letter and say, my child is, we're paying, we're paying tribute. We're going to our local parade, or like Tom just said, they're retiring the American flags, doing a service day, and it's an excused absence. But it is ridiculous, isn't it? That sometimes we don't take these days off, and then they'll put in other holidays that are sort of make-believe holidays, that aren't as critical. I don't get it.
Yeah. You got Frank in South Philly who had a great event yesterday.
Frank, and I'm so sorry we didn't make it to your great event, although we were publicizing it. How did it go?
It went beautiful. The VFW that I belong to came down with the Honor Guard, and also the American Legion I belong to, Post 218, and the VFW Post 8714 from Glendora, New Jersey, came down and gave us a 21-gun salute. We had roughly about 100, 120 people there.
Wonderful.
And I just wanted to tell all the veterans, Happy Veterans Day. Also, I'd like to give the Gold Star families that lost 18 military members out there in the Middle East this past year, the 2023. I had my American flag at half mast for those 18 that we lost over there. And it was a wonderful time. And we also added to the memorial 10 different wars that the United States had. Each one of them had the date, the year, and the year it ended each war, and the amount of soldiers that died in each one of those wars. The most war that we lost was 520 or 620. It was in the Civil War because of the lack of knowledge of all the diseases that was in that particular year. They didn't have the cure for that. And you and Danny and Dom and all the crew over there was welcome, but you missed out on the homemade wine and the coffee and all the ceremony. Good friends came over there to salute him. It was one wonderful time, and we had a young lady that's 13 years old that sang the national anthem by the name of Viviana Di Pasquale. Beautiful voice she has. And everything went well.
That's beautiful.
So, and like I say, all veterans, happy Veterans Day today. I always have it every year on a Sunday of the weekend of Veterans Weekend. I have that ceremony. And it was just wonderful. You know, it just breaks my heart every year that we lose troops. And it's sad that this administration didn't recognize that 18 soldiers died in the Middle East.
Yeah.
I was very sad. I was literally crying yesterday when I did my speech. So that's
very hurtful.
And like I said, I go all out for the 18 family that the gold star of those 18 soldiers, men and women that died.
Beautiful. Frank, thanks so much. We love you, and just what a great tribute to our veterans. If you want to make a tribute, either talk about your service or what you're doing today or this week. I know there are a ton of, I know Wawa always, of course, but Wendy's, there are many different Applebee's restaurants and locally, nationally that want to give out freebies to our veterans as their way of saying thank you. So if you want to give a shout out or let us know what's going on in your community, I would love to know that. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. Just a heads up, and this is just coming out. It's an Open the Books. This one of these investigations. I don't know if you saw it, but the headline is that as a private citizen, talking about Dr. Anthony Fauci receiving $15 million taxpayer-funded security detail that he was receiving, and that was just within the past 2 years. So in other words, the security detail that he received that we all paid for at the price tag of $15 million, and this is despite having returned to private citizenship. It's an Open the Books investigation as they were through the Freedom of Information Act request that they've been doing, and they were looking into that. Somebody, I think it was this morning, or maybe it was, somebody this morning said, "Where's Dr. Fauci? What's going on with Fauci?" So there are these Freedom of Information requests and a lot of questions surrounding Fauci, and probably more to come early next year, I would imagine. But we'll continue to talk about that. You always ask me, what's going on with these different investigations? So we thank all these different citizen journalism groups filing these, and that's just it. There's a lot out there. I was reading at Broad and Liberty, Beth Ann Rossica. We'll have to have her on this week. She had a great piece talking about the media, talking about education. But with regards to the media, and I talk about this a lot, that the so-called mainstream media, they don't even know that they are DOA, right? They are dead. And this election proves their irrelevancy, if you think about it. And they're so out of touch, and that's why they're still out there saying, what could have happened? What is this? Well, they still don't realize it. They don't get it. It once again shows how antiquated they are, how out of touch they are. But then you contrast that with all of the people who have the podcasts and the social media group, the citizen groups, the grassroots movement, if you will, even talk radio, being much more in touch, feeling the pulse of the people. I knew, You knew, we knew, but they didn't know. So it just shows you the power of the people as we celebrate that aspect of today as well. Okay, are you ready for a trip to escape to paradise? I sure am. I can't wait for this. The Italian Riviera. This is a gastronomical event that only Conservative Tours can deliver. Join me for 11 luxurious days with the professionals from Conservative Tours, the best tour operator, hands down, in Italy, A+ rating with a Better Business Bureau, Portofino, Rapallo, Santa Margherita, Ligure, Tuscany, and the brilliant Cinque Terre. 5378, and yes, that does include your airfare. You know, we have a group text going because we've become great friends. We call it our Amalfi group, you know, and we'll text each other back and forth. So a lot of our original members are going. They signed up already. But we just can't wait. Looking forward to the dining events galore in the wineries in Tuscany, and even an authentic farm visit to see Parmesan cheese being crafted by hand. You got to call toll-free 888-733-9494. Just go to conservativetours.com. You'll see all of this that I'm describing. Pictures, some of the places, the itinerary, the hidden Italian villages you've never seen, like Giacomo Puccini, San Gimignano, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Florence, Milan, and concluding on the Lakes region with Bellagio, Orta, and Isola Bella. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Cinque Terre. ConservativeTours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, the voice of the people.
I want to thank all of you guys. The coverage yesterday was top-notch with everybody throwing in a little bit of Matt Rooney late night and a little bit of Opelka. Rich out in Pittsburgh, I listened right till the end, right till Dom signed off at midnight.
From South Jersey to Delco, from Bucks to Montco, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, we are the voice of the people. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Designers, excavators, engineers, architects, listen up.
What are you doing? We're working here.
If you want to save time, effort, and money on your next underground utility project, start using Pennsylvania One Call System's Coordinate PA application. Coordinate PA is the next generation of utility coordination that allows you to easily transfer and manage your complex projects from start to finish, all the way from the designer to the excavator. Be prepared for your next underground utility project with Coordinate PA.
Makes sense.
Visit pa1call.org to learn more.
Hey, it's Joe DeCamera. This time of the year isn't just football season. It's not just the holiday season. It's the tire season. The best season of the year. And the best place to take your car is United Tire and Service. That's right. It's not just tire. It's United Tire and Service. They have it all. From new tires to full inspections and more. And you know, if you take care of your car, it'll take care of you. Well, take care of it at United Tire. For the best prices of the year, find the nearest locally owned United Tire by going to UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
Wawa's hot turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because hot turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Hey, Warminster, we know your favorite station is WPHT.
Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
Tell you, son, we're still number one. These colors don't run.
I'm still basking in the glow of the victory. This morning I was not in the mood. Because on Kale and Company, we played all the pouty faces. And I'm just not in them. I can't take them. I just want them to go away. And Dan found a great story with these, what do they call them again, Dan? It's
a 4B movement, Dawn. It's something that's taken off in South Korea, and it's a pledge for abstinence that a bunch of females, liberal females, are taking upon themselves to protest such a misogynist Donald Trump being elected to the White House. I have some audio of some of these TikTokers who are all joining this 4B movement, which is 4 different words I can't pronounce that are all Korean that all relate to boycotting sex in one way or another. Take a listen.
This vote wasn't a vote for Americans. This vote was for men. And unless we want to become the handmaid's tale, then us women need to protest because this is some buttery bullshit.
I'm gonna be honest, I was very blindsided by the results this morning. I've decided that cigarettes don't count today, and I honestly might go get a tattoo. But I also have decided that for the next 4 years, I am going to abstain from schmex with men. And funny enough, I actually just broke up with my boyfriend a handful of days before the election.
He probably broke
and
up
it had
with
nothing
her.
to do with
Sorry.
the anticipation of Donald Trump winning this election. It had everything to do with problems within our relationship and massive differences between who we were as people, which was unfortunate and sad. I wish him well, though. But yeah, as a woman, my bodily autonomy matters, and this is my way to exercise sovereignty over that. So I highly encourage any other women that are single and care about progressing women's rights and still fighting for our bodily autonomy to do the same. Delete your dating apps, because we can come together in community, and if you need somebody to cuddle or hold your hand or give you a kiss, I bet you one of your girlfriends would do it.
Would one of your girlfriends do that, Dawn?
Okay, and you don't even have to really be gay, okay? It's okay to have a lot of platonic love for the next 4 years. I think we can look to South Korea and the 4B movement as a point of inspiration.
All I have to say is good luck getting laid. Especially in Florida, because me and my girlies are participating in the 4B movement. That's my next plan.
4B, bisexu, which means no sex with men. Bichulsen, which means no giving birth. Byungye, which means no dating men. And Bihan, which means no marriage with men. So here is all the 4B plus 6B movement rules, Dawn. Don't marry men, don't date men, don't have sex with men, don't have children with men, don't buy products from misogynist brands, anti-corset, that's a reject of toxic beauty standards such as high heels and plastic surgery, anti-fandom, reject male worship and idolization, anti-otaku, reject misogynistic anime culture, and then, so any desire to partake there, Dawn?
Well, absolutely not. And what nobody talks about, and I had predicted this, you may remember, but that if you look at the women's vote, more women across the board, if you count all because they love to break us up by age group, by the color of our skin, by all these different groups. But if you look at Trump and getting the women's vote, getting the popular vote, obviously he did that with a little help from women who love Trump. So I'm one of those women. I'm a MAGA mom. I'm a Trump supporter. And so I'm proud to say it. I hope you are too. And for these women, I actually think that their fragile state of their mental health is such that it's probably a good thing that they worry about themselves and that they don't procreate at this point. And so that's probably
point.
a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's a fantastic point.
Just worry about themselves. They seem very fragile as individuals, and they don't want to respect the vote of the people and the wish of the people. I'm not going to call them a danger to democracy. I'm not going to call them deplorable. I'll actually say a little prayer for them. I hope that they're okay, that they realize everything's going to be okay. Thanks for your music choices, Dan.
It's really sad how brainwashed this entire generation has become, that they're shaving their heads and pledging off. Yeah. Sad.
So self-involved, because the bottom line is nobody cares. Do what you're going to do. Nobody cares that you shaved your head. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody's paying attention. And so I imagine that's probably more upsetting to them than anything. 855-839-1210. Oh, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Everybody on the Hill. The voice on the Hill. You can guess who she is. Our great patriot right around the corner. Right here, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Somebody said because they thought we fit together.
Hi, everyone. This is Dom Giordano here with my friend and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group. Dr. Bentz, we've talked about your cutting-edge, state-of-the-art care. Why is that so vital?
It sure helps me diagnose and elevate the level of care I can offer if I'm using the latest technology. I use it on a normal, everyday basis, and I can see things that it's just missed. It's not misdiagnosed, but you can't see something that your equipment won't allow you to. So I feel that if I can't utilize what's out there, and it takes a lot to be trained on it, feel comfortable, that can work for everyone. Not just these advanced cases, but it gives you a very consistent, efficient, and predictable result.
Dr. Bentz and the team at Bentz Dental Group provide solutions for the most complex dental cases. Call Dr. Bentz today at 610-272-6949 or visit BentzDentalGroup.com. Bentz Dental Group, say it with a smile.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hey, Dawn here. When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation for transforming kitchens with precision and care. From custom cabinets to countertops, backsplashes, in just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without all the hassle. Trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades. Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation at kitchenmagic.com. Kitchenmagic.com. Let's cook up something extraordinary. Tell them Dawn sent you.
An American Heritage Cash Reward MasterCard earns cash back with every purchase. From now through the holidays, get 4% cash back on essentials like grocery shopping, gas stations, pharmacies, and home improvement stores to help with your holiday gatherings. And when it's time for holiday gift shopping, earn 2% cash back on every purchase, including big box retailers, online shopping, and small businesses. Apply today at AmericanHeritageCU.org/creditcards. Subject to credit approval. Insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out. I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything.
Have you tried shopping jewelry television, JTV?
I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different.
JTV has thousands of jewelry styles, artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax?
Yes. Another round?
Yes.
What do you call the NordVPN Black Friday deal, huh? The Block Friday deal. Because you block online threats. Black Friday, Block Friday. Get it? It's hilarious. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal and block online threats now. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic. Its Threat Protection Pro tool will defend you against web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. Get the special Black Friday deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
On this Veterans Day, November 11th, 11 a.m., across our region, across the nation, Arlington Cemetery, solemn services as we honor our veterans, the fallen, the survivors, and we thank you for your service. Among them, our own Jessie Jane Duff served in the U.S. Marine Corps, active duty, 20 years, retiring as a gunnery sergeant. I love your energy. We still talk about the last time when you were on. You just pumped us up, and you know, we need it on this day as we think about everything going on in our nation. But thanks for being here again.
Hey, so the last time I was on, was I right or was I right? I
You
knew
were
we were
right.
going to win this. Yeah, I'm telling you, the energy in the campaign, when we were watching the polls slowly shift, here in 2016 and 2020, President Trump had never been ahead in the battleground states. Now, mind you, he only was ahead 2-3 points, but that's all it was, because you're talking a seismic shift from where he had been previously. And the numbers are overwhelming. You know, he had over 4 million additional votes to give him the popular vote. That means people out in California showed up. The blue states showed up to vote for him. We saw a big shift in California with him earning 40% of the vote in California. All across the nation, enough is enough. I think the top issues are the border, our national security, our inflation and gas and fuel and prices with our insurance and our homeowners policies and, you know, just going to the grocery store. And then the transgender issues where they're trying to transition children. Everybody is utterly offended by having the thought of their children being removed from their homes, which was a bill that Tim Walz passed in his own legislation, in Minnesota. So here we are. It's Veterans Day. I want everybody to remember, though, Memorial Day is for those who have fallen in uniform.
Yes.
Veterans Day is for those who have served in uniform. And Armed Forces Day is for those who are currently in uniform. So today is a great day to thank all those that served and put up with, everything that went with it, often divorce and, to deployments and kids that don't recognize you when you come home and financial insecurity from time to time. But all in all, I cannot think of a greater thing that I was able to do for my country, because the rest of my life, I am a Marine. And that just for me is so heartwarming. I don't have to sit here and think, did I ever make a difference in this world? I already know I did. So, not to say it's time to put my feet up and stop, but it's just a great thing to say you serve this great nation.
Yeah, and we thank you for your service. I know, you've spoken out a lot. You've served in so many different ways, even after coming home. But when I look at, your voicing for your concerns about challenges of ensuring the voting rights of those overseas active duty military personnel, making sure they're remembered, that they know their vote matters. That's something that among those different issues that you've worked on, where are you with that as far as the voting rights?
We've got work to do, the voting rights of our active duty military. There was a false report that got published. I want to say the Federalist. I could be wrong. It might have been another publication that said that the ballots weren't available, absentee ballots weren't available for active duty military, that DOD failed. That is not true. In order to do the federal write-in ballot, you download it offline. And I know this from my own experience helping pass the legislation. The federal write-in ballot is not a ballot from your state. The Department of Defense is not responsible for mailing anybody their ballots. The Department of Defense is responsible to ensure everybody is given the opportunity to register to vote upon checking into their duty station, those active duty military. But there's also overseas voters that are under the MOVE Act, which is the Military and Overseas Voter Empowerment Act. The states are required to get your ballot mailed out on time. And if I don't receive my ballot and I'm in Italy and I don't have my ballot from Maryland, let's say, then I go to the website and download the federal write-in ballot. It really bothered me that somebody ran with this because some active duty members had apparently said when they went to their admin shops requesting a federal write-in ballot because they didn't get their ballots yet, that it was reported they didn't have any printed out. They didn't have any in stock. And I thought, well, this just goes to show how ignorant everybody is. You go to the FFAP website and it's right there for downloading. It's not a state ballot. It's a federal write-in, and you write in your candidates, you write in the person, and then you ensure that you get it stamped and mailed out on time from your overseas military duty station, or even here stateside if you're voting absentee.
You know, we don't talk about it enough, and that is just all the organizations that honor our veterans. And it's important because I think of even yesterday at church, they brought, and I've loved this because usually, you know, when you're at the end of the service and they go, please everybody remain seated. You go, uh-oh, the announcements are coming. It's going to be, you know, another like 30 minutes. But in this one, it was to honor some of our Vietnam veterans in my own parish with the Quilts of Valor Foundation. And I wonder just if you could speak to that as far as, you know, people getting involved and what it means to military veterans when any number of these organizations, local organizations, national organizations, with volunteers, and there's a need for volunteers, and then really stitching that together with how that is something at a grassroots level that helps with combat the mental health issues that are happening within our veteran community.
Yeah, most people get involved with their charitable acts by knowing somebody or being impacted by a particular issue. I always advise, if you're going to do a charitable thing for veterans, it's always noble, but pick something you're already passionate about. It makes it more fulfilling, more enjoyable. You don't feel like you're now being burdened with doing something that's not really in your interest. God gave all of us massive talents. You know, that we all know that who can't run a computer, and we got a kid that can. Hey, they got the talent, we didn't, but we're good at something else. So I would just say that if you are passionate about a veteran issue, that is something that you can find usually with, you know, you do a Google search, DuckDuckGo search, and look up local charitable efforts. The homeless veteran crisis has been pretty bad, and that is to say that a lot of the administration had funneled money into illegals, and many veterans were displaced. I do expect President Trump had passed the Mission Act when he was president. A lot of that had been dismantled by Biden-Harris administration, but money was set aside for the homeless veteran crisis. It was very important that money was utilized for their mental health care, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, mental health issues. And I also want to stress to people, not every veteran is a mess. I mean, sometimes that gets lost in a lot of the commercials and the talks about veteran suicide, and not to suggest anybody is a mess who's going through something difficult, but I want them to also realize many veterans are productive members of society, have come back and made businesses, and it has been one of the most accomplished things that has driven them to know how to function in society and be a great success. I never want to discourage the youth from serving, because a lot of this is a sense sometimes that we just generate helplessness, and we're not. We're a very strong community. There's 22.5 million veterans. So veteran suicide is another issue that hopefully President Trump will be able to get back on the top of the line, because he has set aside mental health money that, again, the VA has forced veterans to go back into the VA system instead of using outside care providers. We want to be able to do that. I would just simply find your local VFW or find your local veteran-affiliated organization, Veterans of Foreign Wars, or let's see, what's the other one? I'm forgetting the name. Forgive me. There's many local veteran chapters, and find out what charities they recommend. Toys for Tots, as simple as that may sound, is one of my favorite charities because they service millions of underserved children that would otherwise not get a Christmas present. And you can look up Toys for Tot dropping points. So when I buy gifts for my nieces and nephews, and I'm always buying them on sale, there's too many of them, so I buy an extra 3 or 4 of the same thing. Last year I found a $50, $60 dollhouse on sale for $19. I could not escape it. I bought 5 of them and dropped them off at the Toys for Tots dropping point. And then I made a charitable contribution. Marines Toy for Tots was always my mother's favorite. And it's one where you're really spreading joy to children that otherwise would not necessarily have a Christmas to celebrate. So there's lots of little things you can do that make a big difference collectively, but find something you're passionate about.
That's a great one. I saw an investigation just recently showing that a VA home loan program that was supposed to be helping veterans or assisting veterans by, become a homeowner, ended up forcing them into these high-cost mortgages. And at least they were saying well over 1,000 of these veterans, look like 1,300, faced monthly payment increases of over 50%. When I hear about that, I just think, should we have laws in something like this? If somebody purposely does something like this, misleading in particular a veteran, should we have laws in which they get a tougher punishment to try to deter people from, because sometimes these are, like you're saying, vulnerable people who have fought so bravely for our country, but they find themselves as vulnerable in scams like this.
Yeah, it goes back to making sure you have a strong communication with your congressional representatives, because they can seriously clamp down on any type of banking scams that are going on and assist you in overcoming that. There are measures in which you can recoup losses, but always do your homework on what you're looking into as a veteran and making sure that if you're getting a VA loan, it's from a credible institution. There's so many banking institutions that we all can be members of by our veteran status. USAA is a great veterans organization that has investment opportunity, car insurance at a reduced rate, many opportunities for your financial goals, and you're not going to be misled. I'm a member of Navy Federal Credit Union. That would be where I would go potentially for a VA loan. Should I want one, go through them to get the lower interest rates. Pentagon Federal Credit Union, I could go on and on. There's so many great organizations. Every veteran, although they may be vulnerable, still has responsibility to try to ensure that they include somebody that they trust before they make financial decisions if they're unsure of themselves, because this is also what happens often to elderly people. They're preyed upon with phone calls, sounding like a grandchild, saying they're distressed. How many times have we heard about this? Or how many times have we all gotten text messages that somebody needs money now to win a campaign, and we don't even know that that's going to their website? We're all very vulnerable now to make sure we don't click on links in emails that were not confirmed, checking email addresses to make sure it's verified. I've gotten 2 emails that say my payment has not been updated with Xfinity, where I have my cable service. And then when I look at the email address, I see it's from some bizarre, robocon.com, US, UK, who knows what. You realize it's a scam. So I just caution everybody that times have changed and technology has taken advantage of a lot of people, and that will also include veterans. But anybody who is maybe vulnerable for financial support can bite at the first apple without realizing, whatever looks too good is too good to be true, then it probably is.
Well, Gunnery Sergeant Jessie Jane Duff, we thank you so much for your service as a United States Marine. And still, you're a bright light and a great voice on the Hill. So I don't know what's next for you. I can't even read your resume on air, quite frankly, because you've won so many awards and national awards, and for your service and medals and so on, but also all of your involvement. So thank you so much for everything you do for our country. You're a true patriot.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, anybody who served 20 years in the Marine Corps better have something to say on paper. Otherwise, what were you doing? You know, we're not couch potatoes. I can't take a lot of credit. I feel that I was a good Marine. I'm an outstanding civilian, though, because it's a lot easier to be a civilian than it was a Marine. So I was a good Marine. I wasn't great. I wasn't fat. I was, you know, I did my 20 years. I did it well. I showed up on time. I didn't do anything to get myself booted out. There were things I was great at. But I've known so many heroic Marines that I can never try to even hold a candle to their service. And same with soldiers, airmen, and sailors. Many have sacrificed far more than I ever could dream. It was a joy for me to serve. Highs and lows, it made me who I am today. So thank you for acknowledging that, and remember that all that have served, thanking them, even if they're a little awkward with it, it makes them feel warm in their heart.
Oh, that's great advice. Thank you. Gunnery Sergeant Jessie Jane Duff. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Take the hill. We had a big win, and we're going to have the first Marine who was ever on a presidential ticket in the White House soon.
You know
J.D. Vance.
You know what's so funny? My 20-year-old son Michael, who's at Penn State, I didn't even think of that, and he said, "Do you realize that no other vice president? This is as a United States." I said, "Oh, Michael, I appreciate," because of course the mainstream media would never, you would never get that stat, but he was interested to look that up. So thank you for saying that, because it's
very first. It's pretty impressive. It's very impressive. So it came right on time for our Marine Corps Ball. Our birthday, 249th birthday, was yesterday. We're loud, we're obnoxious, and we're funny, and we have no embarrassment in saying that.
Well, I thank you. That's my Grandpa John. You just described him to a T. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Semper Fi, everybody. Have a great Veterans Day, and enjoy this moment that we are free because of those who have served.
Oh, it's a blessing. Thank you so much. 855-839-1210. If you would like to call in and give your tribute to the veteran in your life, or maybe you are a veteran being honored today, we'd love to hear from you as we honor your service. 855-839-1210. Quick break. Be right back.
How's this for a dream Politics and Pints event? It's me, Rich Zioli, with Jimmy Fela on stage together Wednesday, November 13th, 7:30 p.m., Media Theater in Media, PA. And we're going to have a cash bar available for soft drinks, beer, wine, and cocktails, which, yes, you can buy us. Media Theater, Wednesday, November 13th at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a hot show, and it's going to sell out really fast. So get your tickets right now at 1210WPHT.com, and I'll see you for our next Politics and Pints, Zioli and Fela, November 13th. Hey, it's Rich Zioli. You know I travel a lot, right? I'm in New York, I'm on the road, I'm in Pittsburgh covering the election. Well, you know I gotta have a VPN so I can secure my Wi-Fi connection wherever I am. That's why I use VPN from DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro. Privacy Pro is great. It includes the DuckDuckGo VPN, personal information removal, and identity theft restoration. 3 features for the price of 1. Listen, when you are on the road, or even when you're home, you gotta have your Wi-Fi connection secure. And with DuckDuckGo VPN, it's secured anytime, anywhere, at home, at work, abroad, coffee shop, hotel, wherever you are. And nobody's tracking your data. It's great. It hides your location from sites you visit, and because your connection is encrypted, even your internet service provider can't see your traffic. Look, do it today. Go to duckduckgo.com/1210. Duckduckgo.com/1210. Get a week on us, and it's only $9.99 a month. Duckduckgo.com/1210.
There's a chill in the air. You flip on the heat, and nothing. And why does it always happen right after you've finally gotten cozy? For as little as $13 a month, Oliver will keep your home's heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems in check year-round. And guess what? Membership also comes with yearly inspections, exclusive discounts on repairs and replacements, plus priority emergency service.
Call Oliver for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt payment for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
The developing story I've been following for you, it's getting embarrassing at this point with U.S. Senator-elect Republican Dave McCormick officially flipping the seat by all accounts. Like I say, even the AP, most of the media, I think NBC did not actually officially report it, although they said it's projected. But even, all of these different, I'm going to all these different media sites have said it's over, it's done with Dave McCormick. He's leading by well over 40,000 votes. And this is the battle for the Senate race here in Pennsylvania, hotly contested. I'll admit that. I know that there have been court battles and all of that, but Democrats are fundraising off of it. They're still holding out hope in the Pennsylvania Senate race and saying, no, there are still all these votes and we're counting. Other groups saying there's no way that he can make up this amount of votes the way it's going, especially when you consider that many of the votes they're talking about are the overseas military ballots, which generally speaking go to Republicans. But in this case, you're talking about Republican Dave McCormick, who is himself a military veteran, served in Iraq. And so McCormick, we told you about that. We carried part of his victory speech, which was incredibly classy and gracious, and we carried that live for you on Friday, you may recall. But he has been declared by even the so-called, mainstream media, which many of them very liberal, have admitted that, in fact, he's the declared victor in Pennsylvania's hotly contested Senate race here. And there are legal challenges, there are emergency requests, all of that going on. But the Casey camp, like I say, is this now, at this point, a ploy to just fundraise? I have to wonder, because I think the writing is on the wall. They've known it. And they're still saying that these provisional ballots could close that gap. But you'll never see the media criticize a Democrat as they have criticized others for saying, well, let's take the whole vote. Let's look at this, right? And so Casey's representatives also saying that they've had disagreements over the provisional ballots that could have a, quote, potential impact on the outcome of the election. Quoting the McCormick camp, I had told you that on Friday, that my friend George Paquetto was the lawyer involved in some of the court proceedings back and forth. But at this point, come on, guys, it's over 40,000 votes. The law is that if it's 5.5% or under, then that triggers the recount. But that's not happening here. They're a good 6% at this point, and the numbers are not going in Senator Casey's way. So give it up. I mean, it starts to look desperate. At some point, it gets embarrassing. And then it gets nasty as well, because you have Chucky Schumer, Senator Schumer, saying at the national level, they're not going to acknowledge Casey. Come on, guys, already. Let's talk about, if we look at what's going on at the Trump level, his transition team, and you think about Florida, because now usually all this goes down in D.C. or New York. I find it interesting as well that it's Mar-a-Lago. I mean, that is, I guess, the new, what would you say, the summer White House or whatever they want to call it. Remember, for Reagan, it was out west. He loved his ranch in California. And so does Florida become, I don't know, that symbol of the White House, flamingo White House. I don't know what we'll call it. The Florida division, the Mar-a-Lago division. But there's a lot of news out of the Trump camp, a couple of these stories that I'll get to. And that is, number one, that we learned that, in fact, when you think about what's going on with Trump. So he named New York Representative Elise Stefanik. You've heard me interview her, right? She was fantastic And you remember, she was grilling all of those Ivy League presidents who were unfortunately listening to their lawyers and regurgitating the talking points that they were told to regurgitate when they were supposed to be answering to the congressional hearings. And there was fallout here at UPenn and especially at Harvard. Remember that. That was tough lawyer, tough representative, Elise Stefanik. So she's getting rewarded for her smarts. I think she will be fantastic as she has now accepted President-elect Donald J. Trump's offer to be his, I guess you'd say his enforcer as the United Nations ambassador. I think she'll be fantastic. And she's tough. She's smart. You heard it when I interviewed her. You know this when you saw her really taking over at those congressional hearings. And just with, I mean, not with being, she wasn't yelling or shouting or anything of that nature, in a very calm, classy way, just putting forth those questions and really allowing university presidents, and by the way, she's a Harvard grad herself, she's an alum, but allowing them a moment to explain what was going on. Remember, with all of those horrible anti-Jewish and anti-Israel protests that we saw and what happened back then, doesn't that seem, in some ways, doesn't it seem like, oh my goodness, that feels like 10 years ago. My goodness. You think about between even July 13th, here in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the first assassination attempt against a former president, against Trump. You think about what we've lived through. My goodness, how many news cycles. It really is, it's mind-boggling. We just need a moment, don't we, to take it all in. And all of these pouty faces and these Democrats and liberals, they're not even, I shouldn't even say Democrat. I'm going to get a new name, but they're the pouty progressives. That's my new name, Jimmy Kelly. The pouty progressives. They're very pouty. They're sore losers. They're very unhappy. They're trying to blame everybody else, but they're pouty progressives. We should not even call them Democrats because there are so many of you longtime Democrats who say, hey, the Democrat Party left me. So I'm going to call them the PPPs, the pouty progressives, because they became so far left. Even Uncle Bernie Sanders, he's like, I don't know what they're I was just trying to fight for, if you lose your teeth. I'm trying to imitate Zioli imitating, right, Bernie. Zioli does the best Bernie Sanders. Well, I don't know. Jimmy Kelly, do you do a Bernie?
I'm afraid not.
No.
Just never really.
Do a great. I don't know. What about former President Clinton? Do you think that he would agree that the PPP, the pouty progressives, left his Democrat Party?
Well, you see, here's the thing right now. I don't really care what they do at this point. I mean, I'm out of it. I made more money than you could ever spend right now. So who cares who's in or who's out or what's going on? It's time for me to just kick back and just enjoy the rest of it. I mean, Hillary definitely is a pouty progressive, but I don't know what's going to happen right now. But yeah, they're a little bit pouty out there. They just feel like they got sand kicked all over them. That's what happens when you see me. When I ran for president right now, I'd made all the stops, played the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show, and I just made all the stops and just hey, I worked in Mickey D's too. Hey, would you like fries with that order?
Oh my goodness!
Well,
you're the best,
and it's true because when Bill Clinton ran in 1992, he was reaching out to the people.
Yes,
and
I feel your pain.
He did. He felt your pain. He played sax on the Arsenio show. He made stops where Kamala Harris and the rest of them just didn't want to go on any of these shows. They went on The View. They went on Howard Stern. They went on various other places. Trump was just there. And he decided, I'll work at McDonald's and work the fryer later. Why not? And then when the garbage thing came out, he started to collect garbage in his truck.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
He just knew how to just push their buttons. And I remember saying this about a week ago, but we were so busy with election stuff. If Elon Musk really wanted to stick it to Krasner in Philadelphia, he would have came in here and said, well, you know what? I understand that some of these unions are looking for some money at this point. I understand that they're $30 million in the hole. He could have pulled $50 million out of his pocket right down in there because it's a drop in a bucket to him.
Yeah.
You know, $50 million to him is like you and me going out to Starbucks and buying a cup of coffee.
Right.
And he could have pulled out the money. The unions would have loved it, and it would have really stuck at the Krasner.
I love it.
Yeah.
I always think of, I know you had a chance to meet the late, great Rush Limbaugh, who loved Trump. I think of all the angels. I think of my mom, all the angels in heaven.
Yeah.
You know, my mom, all the supporters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Who, you know, and we talk about this a lot, looking down on Trump. Remember when I talked to Eric Jr., and he talked about how the fact that his mom, it was almost a year to the day that she died. His dad almost died on J 13th, and he said how he felt that his mom, another angel in heaven watching over his dad, said they actually were very close. Had really, you know, made amends for like a lot of divorced couples, you know, and that she was a big supporter. But you think about that, and we're not allowed anywhere but here to celebrate. I'm still basking in the glow. Yesterday, I was like, they have the Eagles fight song because we won. Then I was like, Trump.
Oh, you are?
Fly, Trump, fly on the road to victory.
Well, here's a really funny
What do you
thing.
think?
This morning, I picked the movie clip for Cal and Company.
Yeah.
It was Forrest Gump, which rhymes with Trump.
Oh.
Channeling my inner Ed and Del Ram, by the way.
I love it. But we're still basking in that glow. It feels good. And I think even though, unfortunately, there's so much that we are burdened by, we are not undone. We're the opposite. We are burdened by this current administration, but looking forward to the new one. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. Quick break. Be right back.
My name's Jim Colombo, 3 years in the Marine Corps, Vietnam vet, 67, 68, and I've been with Crash Proof Retirement since 2017. Every day should be Veterans Day. Every time you walk down the street, you're free, and you're free because of a veteran. Crash Proof Retirement, I would recommend it to all veterans. As a matter of fact, I recommended it to a lot of my friends already. I'm not worried about inflation now because I earn interest, and once I earn the interest, it's mine to keep. I don't pay a dime to anybody for anything. All I'm doing is watching my money grow and grow. I feel very secure and safe with Crash Proof Retirement.
This Veterans Day, Crash Proof Retirement salutes our nation's brave armed forces, those who served, and those who continue to serve. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Springfield Country Club, November 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Better water leads to a better everyday experience. With treated water from Martin Water Conditioning, you can experience silky smooth skin, refreshed hair after a morning shower. Your clothes and towels feel softer. They're no longer battered with minerals. Your coffee and teas taste better. Your appliances using water lasts longer. Even before you leave your home, your entire morning experience is improved with better household water. If you want to experience better water, call Martin Water Conditioning, 800-887-7555, or go online at martinwater.com.
Have you heard all the talk about fresh pet food? Well, at Dogs and Cats rule, when it comes to fresh, healthy ingredients, we lead the way. Hi, I'm George Parenti, and I'm here to tell you there's nothing better nutrition-wise than fresh food for your pet. Stop in to one of our 7 neighborhood locations and ask our expert staff how a real, fresh, meat-based diet can change your pet's overall health and well-being. Shop online at dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there. Investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Updating you on local news of the day as there's an investigation, standard operating procedure after there was a domestic call, shots fired, and then an officer-involved shooting in the King Sessing neighborhood of Philadelphia last night. Officers saying that this man who had fired shots in a domestic situation with, it looks like, an ex-girlfriend, then he's accused of at gunpoint carjacking a man in a pickup truck, taking off in that, leading police, it sounds like on a slow-speed chase, but at the end of the day, officers ended up either returning fire or in defense, that's the report, shooting this man, and he's reported as, I believe he was pronounced at the scene. Another story that's such a shocker as we learn the details locally, and this is that police in the suburbs making more arrests in this targeted school bus shooting in Coatesville. You remember I told you about this, and it was in, I think it was maybe mid-October this happened. October 10th, broad daylight, 2:30 in the afternoon. You've got a school bus full of high school kids, and the school bus driver there, Coatesville school bus, and all of a sudden these four guys come out of nowhere, according to witnesses, police, everywhere. Four guys out of nowhere open fire on a school bus loaded with kids. Now, thank God, none of the students were injured. One of the bullets shattering the windshield and injuring the driver, not with a bullet, but you can imagine the shards of glass striking the driver, who's still recovering from that. And now they've made 3 arrests, still searching for a 4th, by the way. Excuse me. At least one of them, a student at the school. This is happening, in Chester County. It's crazy, the level of violence that we think about in the schools. And it's not just Philadelphia. It's important to point that out. But they say that they've gotten 3 of the gunmen, and now they're searching for a 4th still, armed and dangerous. And you don't hear this as much as, we should be hearing about it, but they have arrested and charged a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 20-year-old, and they're all, even the 17-year-old charged as an adult, by the way, and they're charged with, among other things, attempted murder. OMG. At the time, we couldn't believe it, and we thought that maybe, just maybe, this was a case where there was some kind of a shootout on the streets there in Chester County, and maybe this was one of those things where they were caught in the crossfire. Not the case. Unbelievable. So I know the district attorney had held a news conference on that, just updating you on some of the local news of the day and what's happening. Because even though we love to talk about politics, and certainly many of us across the region, as we honor our veterans on this Veterans Day, which we have been, I will also point out to you that we have these raging wildfires across the Northeast. So I know that here in Pennsylvania, as well as in New Jersey, all of these different wildfires, because we've had, even though we had some rain overnight and into the wee hours of this morning, we still are facing a deficit, and we didn't really have any rain of significance for more than 40 days. Earlier this morning, we had talked about what was going on with that FEMA official who was fired. It is outrageous. It's outrageous what happened. But I'll tell you this, there's more that's swirling now as these investigations continue. To me, the fact that FEMA was so quick to come out and say, "Oh, we fired this one bad apple." I'm paraphrasing here, obviously. We fired this one person because she had written a memo. So they've got the tangible evidence. And thank God for the other FEMA workers, the whistleblowers. Thank God for them. They were horrified. And now we hear Biden administration officials saying, "Oh, we're mortified, and this person is fired," of course. But it tells you more that, in fact, this one individual, it would appear there's a pattern, because we had heard about it in the Carolinas. This particular one happened in Florida. We heard from Governor Ron DeSantis, who says at the state level, this is discrimination. This is a federal service that's a rescue service, essentially, after a deadly, horrible hurricane, flooding, and victims and survivors not being serviced by FEMA workers, federal workers, because their boss essentially wrote a memo and said, if you see a home with a Trump sign out front, you pass over them. You skip over that house. It only help the Democrats. Again, I'm paraphrasing. But now the Biden administration confirming that they have fired that Federal Emergency Management Agency worker. And she is somebody who has a managerial title and role, and that's why she was able to write the memo, right? Because she is leading all of the individuals who are going door to door. She herself is not one of those individuals who goes door to door. She's in a management position. And so the Governor DeSantis, among others, putting that word out, saying this is discrimination, and the state is now looking into it. As far as the FEMA administrator, her name is Deanne Criswell. She put out a statement saying this is reprehensible. Maybe you saw this over the weekend, yesterday. She said this is reprehensible. This is a clear violation of FEMA's core values and principles to help people regardless of their political affiliation. The sense that I get from FEMA is they're saying, well, we fired her. But I think that for many of us, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for many of us, we feel like, whoa, wait a minute. Not for nothing here. But you just went through the persecution, weaponization of government of, let's say, somebody who was, at the time, President of the United States, and there was a little bookkeeping issue that they took him to court over. Remember that? And they slapped him with 34 felony counts in New York City, and because they wanted to say, well, he's a convicted felon of 34. Now, again, those felony counts are for a bookkeeping situation. The whole thing's going to get thrown out, right? We know that. But I'm just saying, isn't it interesting that the media loved that this was a white-collar alleged crime that a sitting president was reportedly doing, right? Or somebody campaigning, right? But and nobody was hurt. And in fact, even the banks came forth and they said, we were paid, everybody got paid, there's no victim, right? But the media, they love saying, oh no, he's a convicted felon for this bookkeeping situation. On the other hand, let's look at this federal worker, and I just wonder with this FEMA manager, if this is true, and by all accounts, FEMA is throwing her under the bus, but if she instructed FEMA workers who are out there in force in the field, helping victims of a deadly flood, hurricane, storm damage, and that people are being passed over, were they harmed? I mean, I think it would be easier to say, well, sure. Is that not a felony crime for somebody who's in charge of that grass or that field work and the field workers, and telling them, don't go and help these people? But you never hear that, do you? You don't hear the media questioning that. Do you hear it? Anybody? 855-839. Because I haven't heard anybody at the, in law enforcement, as far as at FEMA or in the media, nobody's saying that. But to me, now, obviously, Ron DeSantis, the governor, rightfully saying this was targeted discrimination of victims. And why are they being discriminated against? Because they're Republicans. So for their party affiliation, they are being passed over. Oh, my goodness. And God forbid somebody was, I don't know, trapped in their house. They were struggling. Their roof collapsed on them. I don't know. You don't know. That's what's being investigated. But just think about this. Take that in for a moment as, yes, the media covered this so-called one bad apple. There are other investigations we've heard about in the Carolinas like this, that they were being passed over. So is this a pattern? 855-839-1210. I'll take your calls. We have a lot of other breaking news on the other side. Thanks for being here. Be right back.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, the voice of the people.
What a day to celebrate. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like I have a New Year's morning hangover I haven't had since college.
What you guys have done over there in this election is unbelievable. Having Pressler on all the time, having Laura Trump on, having Linda Kearns on, that stuff goes a long way.
From South Jersey to Delco, from Bucks to Montco, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, we are the voice of the people. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzz warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Turn off the financial news and turn on a great retirement. Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Get America's largest injury law firm fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Did you know millions of people are getting prescription medications for weight loss, sexual health, better sleep, and more, all online? RexMD.com has made getting these medications fast and easy, with free delivery of the most popular medications right to your door. Just fill out a brief survey, and if appropriate, we'll prescribe and ship clinically proven options to help with issues like weight loss.
I've lost 45 pounds so far. It's nice to get back into clothes that I haven't been able to wear for a long time.
We can also help with insomnia.
I slept through the whole night. It made me feel very well rested and ready to go for the day.
And RexMD can improve your sexual health.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is happier. I am definitely much happier.
At RexMD.com, we've made the process fast, easy, and affordable. Visit RexMD.com right now to get started. That's REXMD.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
There is breaking news within the past maybe 9 minutes or so that there are media entities. I know that Vice President-elect Senator J.D. Vance, Republican from Ohio, congratulating President-elect Donald J. Trump on his pick for Stephen Miller, will reportedly be the White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy in Trump's second term. And so Miller, one of the leading voices, as you well know, behind Trump's immigration plans, advocating for more policies to secure our borders effectively, and served as a senior advisor on that topic, in particular in the first administration. So the new position as Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy would allow him to have a more expansive role. And I'm looking at this from, this is the New York Post. There are a couple media entities that are just reporting this. And so this would allow Stephen Miller to have a more expansive role in the White House, as he would be working under Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, who Trump announced that last week, to ensure the smooth operations in the West Wing. So Trump's transition team busy at work. We know that Miller launched the America First Legal Foundation, conservative legal organization led by many former members of the Trump administration. So we continue the conversation. I talked about Elise Stefanik. We've talked about Tom Homan, of course, with the Borders Are. So Trump putting together his team. And by the way, I'm looking at the latest update. We're still about 40 plus, maybe 41,000 votes, that Dave McCormick is ahead. But Bob Casey Jr., stubborn on this one, refusing to concede on this important U.S. Senate election here in Pennsylvania. 855-839-1210. Real quick here, Bill is in Bluebell. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yes. How are you on this Veterans Day?
Thank you very much. I am a veteran also. Listen up. I'm not too up on the policy or procedure, but the Democrats have been trying to get Sotomayor to resign. Is it possible that they're waiting for or delaying the Schumer and McCormick and Casey to stall as long as they can, because Casey still has a vote and McCormick does not? Or does it not make a difference at this point, because it's going to take a certain amount of time to get through the process anyway? Could that be a strategic move to hold out as long as possible, or to see if, in fact, it doesn't make any difference anyway?
Yeah, because Senator Bob Casey is still the senator until the next term. So Senator Bob Casey still gets to, serve out his term. As far as Sonia Sotomayor, that's not happening. Even Bernie Sanders, we should have played that audio, but it's a great point. I'll take that up tomorrow, and thank you for your service, Bill, on this Veterans Day. I was infuriated by the fact, and they've done this with Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who is a type 1 diabetic. And so they're basically, this is so horrifying to me. They're basically saying, even though she monitors her health, quite frankly, much more, and her blood glucose levels and all of that as a type 1 diabetic on insulin, much more than probably some of the other members of the Supreme Court of the United States. The fact that anyone would suggest that a type 1 diabetic, because they're quite frankly, it's a form of discrimination. It's horrifying to me as a mom of, my son Michael, I talk about, fairly recently diagnosed with type 1, and thank God for all the advances. And I'm sure that Justice Sotomayor is on a pump and all of that. And I'll remind you that even though she's let's say, considered a liberal-leaning justice, yes, but I'll remind you of when there were groups of college kids, and I played this audio at the time, and college students, and they were critical of, remember this, Justice Clarence Thomas. Do you remember this? And I played the audio, and she talked about the fact that he is her friend, and that even though they have different points of view on the law and interpretation of the law, what a kind and gentle soul he is. She defended him. It was so classy, and see, that's why they want to cancel her, because she is friendly with her coworkers. And she said, Claire, he will come in and he will know everybody in the building. He knows every security guard, every person. He knows everybody's name. And she defended him. And see, they don't want that. They want to replace her. They also are saying, well, she just turned 70. She might die. It's discrimination against type 1 diabetics. If you see anybody putting this out there, and kudos to Bernie Sanders for poo-pooing it and saying, no, not going to happen, please repost that on social media and say this is discrimination against a type 1 diabetic. So Bill got my blood boiling on that one. Listen, I thank you for your service, for those great Americans and patriots who've served our nation as we continue commemorating this important Veterans Day. Dom Giordano is next. Hey, Dom.
Hey, Dawn. Dave McCormick here at 110 just talking about him with Casey, and I think he's going to say, look, everybody has a reasonable shot at getting every vote, but Mark Elias is here in Pennsylvania. As soon as you hear that, you know what it means.
Mm-hmm.
And such success with the big list the other day at 12:30, the top 10 people or entities that brought home Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. You're in this list.
Dom's show is right now.
Hey, it's Rich Zeoli. Do you know the other day somebody posted a picture of my old house on the internet? It scared me and my family, but luckily it was my old house. See, I signed up for Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo, and this is essential because as part of it, it's personal information removal. I'm so glad I signed up. Personal information removal helps find and remove your personal information like name, email, and yes, your home address from data broker sites or people search sites that store and sell it. And that helps to combat identity theft and spam. Plus, you want the privacy in this day and age, don't you? Of course you do. So just go to duckduckgo.com/1210 right now and sign up for a week on us, a 7-day free trial, and then it's only $9.99 a month. And it includes a VPN, which you need when you're online no matter where you are, and also identity theft restoration. It is the 3-in-1 Privacy Pro solution you absolutely need, and that's why I signed up for it. DuckDuckGo.com/1210, DuckDuckGo.com/1210.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.